There's a phrase of Luang Por Chah that I like to contemplate because we both say it and hear it a lot, like, oh, the practice is difficult, and then so like Luang Por Chah said, like, the practice is difficult. Why is it difficult? Because of desire. And when there's no more desire, it's not difficult anymore. So I think that's a good contemplation. When there's no more tanha, then our difficulties come to an end. And so, yeah, it's difficult. And when it's difficult, then to look inward to say, what's going on? Yeah, what's going on in there? And sometimes it comes up like when we practice, we meditate a lot. We practice hard, we meditate a lot. And it's like we get into this state of like contentment and happiness. And it might seem like, well, it should be difficult. People are saying like it's so difficult here and it should be difficult, but I feel really content and happy. But that contentment and happiness comes from the letting go of the desire. And no, it shouldn't be difficult because the desire isn't there, so it's not difficult. That's just how it works. That's just how it is. That's just the way things are. That's cause and effect. You know, if we're irritable and angry often, the cause and effect relationship, the effect is we're not going to be doing well. If we're kind and gentle and use our speech, use our actions of body and speech in a kind and gentle way, then we're going to have a sense of contentment and safety and well-being, and that's just the natural result of that. So it's cause and effect. I was really enjoying listening to Tan Sudiko talk about Luang Por Liam this morning and the various qualities of Luang Por Liam and what Luang Por Liam tends to emphasize or talk about. And yeah, like there's that sense of like being adaptable. That's one, is being very adaptable. The thing I actually love about the Dhamma and about Buddhism and about being in a practice monastery is like we can't really fully institutionalize it. You know, we can't say it's going to be this way every time. Yeah, so if we get into a mode of like, I want to put it in a textbook, I want to write it down, I want to say it's going to be this way every single time, no matter what, that's like getting institutionalized. And but then it's more fluid than that. It's like, well, in this situation, maybe we're going to do it this way. In that situation, maybe we're going to do it that way. Mind like water, being adaptable. And then I remember being with Luang Por Liam and just like, you know, as myself being a Farang, being a Westerner, it's like always that, you know, oh, do you have any special practices for like, you know, work, you know, doing work with mindfulness, or like, I noticed you work all the time, like, how do you practice with that? And these kind of Western style questions. And he just said, you know, if you think of it as work, you're already suffering. It's just like, it's just changing postures. He's like, the way I think about it is just changing postures. And it's kind of like doing walking meditation. You pick something up and you move over there and you set it over there, or you place it in where it needs to go, and you walk back and you pick something else up and you move over there. And he's just like, I'm just walking back and forth. It's like, so it's kind of like he doesn't wear himself out with that, the mental suffering, which can be very draining and agitating. So it's kind of a recollection on just that kind of example, something nice to think about. It's also like body awareness, like what we'll be talking about in the Upasaka Day today. The body awareness, and when we come back to the body, like the teaching that's been quoted a number of times in the past month or two, like Ananda saying like awareness of the body, mindfulness of the body being the best friend, being a constant good companion, that being able to imbue the the body with awareness and that sense of embodiment or dwelling within the body, and knowing that sense of knowing the state of the body at any given time, and the awareness is collected. It's like collected in the body and balanced. There's a sense of balance that builds up from that. Then with that kind of mindfulness, it's actually easier to have that sense of just changing postures throughout the day. Whatever we're doing, we're just changing postures. And that's actually that's specifically one of the ways of doing body contemplation is mindfulness of postures. Whether we're like stretching our limbs or extending our limbs or contracting our limbs or walking here and there or speaking and keeping silent, the way we're using our eyes when we turn our head, when we're walking back and forth, going through doors, that can be a good one to like stop and reestablish mindfulness. There's all these times that we can be practicing and collecting ourselves. There can be a time, like interpersonal interactions, something rubs us even slightly the wrong way, somebody looks at us, in a way that maybe like out of the corner of their eye or something, like that kind of feeling of anxiety or like just the kind of feeling of dis-ease that can come up, and then seeing like, all things converge on feeling. It's kind of like Lumpur Suchito talking about in the Q&A session, all things converge on feeling. So it's like seeing that, or like Lumpur Liam again, Kwam Rusuk is probably his favorite word. It's just like everything is feeling. It's like there's a feeling that you did something inappropriate, and then that gives rise to a feeling that you're feeling not well. So like everything is feeling. So it's all looking at, it's mindfulness of the body, but it's also mindfulness of feeling, and that certain things we do, they act as a cause for certain feelings, and that's our life. That's our whole experience of life. Is action of body, speech, and mind, and feeling. So some things to consider.